Welcome to A Woman's Brew, where women talk about beer. In today's episode, we're descending into darkness with blackened beer styles. I'm Joanne, and this is Tori.
Ciao.
And we are two beer-loving women on a mission to get more people drinking and talking about great beer. Come join us.
I'm feeling very dark today because I don't know if it is the same in Kent, but it is absolutely chucking it down outside.
It's weird weather here today. So when I got up this morning, it was brilliant sunshine. People were, wandering around in t-shirts and not quite shorts, but nearly. And then it started really raining just as I wanted to go out to the shed and grab something. And then it's brilliant sunshine again. And it just keeps kind of like changing. It's doesn't know what it wants to do in Kent at the moment.
Yeah, it's going back and forth here in Berkshire, but it was just absolutely tipping it down. So it's the perfect day to podcast. It's the perfect day to be moody and have black styled beers.
Yay,
so I think you probably managed to. I really like a black style of a beer. Because I found that I had quite a lot of them. And I didn't even realize I really enjoy them. And so I just kept picking them up and then being like, when I went to go find what I had examples of, I was like, I have a lot. But yeah, I think you probably managed to do a bit more research than I did, because every time I was trying to, it kept trying to pull up things that were like, race in the US, like the history of race in of like African American involvement in breweries.
What search term were you using?
I think I just literally put in history of black beers. Something along those lines, and it was like the history of African American culture in the brewing industry in the US, and I was like, that is so much more important and topical than what we want to talk about. And I was like, I was like, that is a big.
But also
topic.
Not qualified to talk about it.
So. Exactly. I was like, that is a big topic, one that is far more important than what I'm looking into. But I just thought it was really funny that every time I was trying to do a search, I was like, whoa. I was like, that's not what I want to be talked about for sure.
Yes.
I am not the qualified person to talk about it. And I was like, oh God, what I'm searching for is so trivial in comparison.
But it's good research to do for allyship.
yes. But it did not help me for this episode, unfortunately. But I did read a few interesting articles, but that's that aside.
Excellent. I put in black beer styles, and then you get a little bit more. It's all about that. Do you know what? Also, Google might be targeting you as an American.
That's true. Google knows. Google
knows. Should we share what beers we're going to actually drink?
Yeah.
And then we can talk about what we've got in our stashes as well, because we seem to have a very delightful stash of black beer styles between us.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to start. I'm really excited for this one. So this is Bripper by Iron Pier and Elusive Brewing. It is a black rye IPA. I am very excited about this one because Iron Pier are local to me. Like, they're not that close, but they are Kentish.
Didn't know that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've told you this.
Is the perfect beer for us.
Absolutely love Iron Pier.
It's perfect because it's the perfect collab for us. They've got Elusive, you've got Iron Pier. This is great.
Yeah, and I love Iron Pier. They just make, so they do, like, they've done some quite traditional ones. And I think that's how I found them first, because they were at the Kent Beer Festival, and then they do some really interesting barrel aged stuff, and then they're doing things like this. They do a really nice red ale. I don't know if that's got rye in it as well. Don't think so. They just do delicious beers, and their artwork is really cool. That's by a local artist, and this is their artwork depicts Gravesend, which is where they are based. So I think this is another one of their.
If you're looking at the video,
ones.
It's on the video. I quite like the label, and coincidentally, I'm wearing a pink hat today, so I'm kind of matching the pink colour on the label.
It's by Duncan Grant, who is a Gravesend-based artist, and he has also done Fabrics for Liberty in London, which is interesting.
That is interesting.
He is on Instagram. I've had a chat to him before. But I'm excited for that one because I couldn't find that down here. I normally buy my Iron Pier beers because Gravesend's just a little bit, like, I could get there, but it's just a little bit too far. I'd really love to go to their tap room, but again, it's like that would be
Just
a
far
proper train journey that would need to be. But I usually get their beers in Macknade Farm Shop in Faversham, and I've not seen the Bripper there yet, which may be sad, but you managed to get me one from Elusive, so it was okay.
Yes. So full disclosure as well. So this one I got quite a while ago.
Yeah, we got it quite a while ago.
So it did go. BBE was the 1st of May, but we're the 16th of May, so it's genuinely going to be fine. But especially because I find that with the black style, because
they last a little bit longer.
It'll be we'll discuss that in a minute, but it will last a bit longer anyways. But this is another episode. Once again, pretty soon we'll be out of beers to say this on, but this is an episode we've been planning for a while. And when this came out, I grabbed it and you didn't see it over by you, and I was like, okay, it's fine. So that is a good one. The next one that we've got, I am genuinely like so excited for this.
Have you drank this one already?
Yes, a few times now.
I've not had it.
I really like it. It's Wild Weather's Bernard Black.
That's an Imperial Black Lager.
It is an Imperial Black
Lager.
I've
got my Wild Weather t-shirt on.
Yeah, you do. I should have worn mine, but I didn't, and I don't know. I didn't think to. I should have matched because I knew you were wearing that from your live today.
Yeah.
But I like the label as usual. It's
good label. Tentacles. It's the tentacles with a beer can, but it's in like a yellow on the black and silver.
Grey silver background, and then the gold on that. So that's quite nice. I really enjoy this one, so I'm excited for you to try it again. This is past its BBA, but
I've got to clear out my fridge, man.
No. To be fair, I think what happened was when I got it, it managed to be quite close, like quite a while ago. They ended up getting stock back in of cans. So I did grab that and
it'd be
really enjoy it. Yeah, I drank it the other night and it was great.
Fun.
So it's fine. But this one is not past its BB. No. And the last one is Fierce. I don't want to try to pronounce that. I'm going to let you do that because I don't want people to at me about it.
I should have Googled that before we started.
It's a black sour. Blood of
Nidhogger?
I don't know. I can't say it. We're going to get atted. We're going to get shouted out. We're going to get the 1-star review that says they can't pronounce the name. They should have Googled it.
We should have Googled it before.
We should.
It's I assume it's Scandinavian.
I was thinking the same. I was thinking it looks very Viking. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or very, very Scottish, maybe. I don't know. But that's a sour. A black sour, which quite interesting because I've never seen. So what I'm quite excited about these ones are you've got like the Iron Pear one. It's got the rye in it, which I found it makes that a bit more interesting than a normal black IPA. And then the sour, I've never seen another black sour before, so I was quite excited to try that one. I'm sure there are. I
have one here. This is Uvavu Black Sour Dipper, Raspberry, Vanilla and Cacao from Pomona Island. UK, slightly older listeners and viewers will know where that name comes from because it's got a shooting star on it. It is from the TV quiz show Shooting Stars. Tori hasn't got a clue what I'm talking about.
Clueless. Absolutely clueless. Absolutely clueless. But
like YouTube Shooting Stars.
Do I want to? Is it going to be really cheesy?
No, it's brilliant.
Right, okay. Brilliant. I got told to watch something the other day. It was I don't even remember what show it was, but it was some theme song popped to my husband's head, and then he showed me the game. It was like a kids game show, and then he showed me like the intro to it, and he's like, "That's the song." And I was like, "What
was this?"
Oh, I don't remember. I'll ask him later, and I'll tell you. I can't remember what it was, but he was like, "Watch this." I was like,
"I want it to be Funhouse with Pat Sharp."
It might have actually been. What's the theme song to that? What's the theme song to that?
I can't sing it, but Pat Sharp's amazing.
I think in fact,
when I was in uni, we did a to finance our end of year catalogues. As I did a degree in costume for the screen and stage, so we had like catalogues of our work and us to go out to professional bodies, and to finance that, we did loads of fundraising, and we did a back to the 80s like childhood party, and one of the graphic designers, no, he was a model maker, one of the model makers turned up as Pat Sharp. It was brilliant. And like, because actually it was their party. It wasn't one of ours. It was their part. It was the model makers party, and they advertised it everywhere saying Pat Sharp was going to be there. I was like, don't lie, just to try and get people there. And then like we all turned up and we were like, where's Pat Sharp? And there was Andy dressed as Pat Sharp.
I've just Googled it. It's
Was
definitely
it?
Funhouse.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love Funhouse. And the twins.
I was like, okay.
Knew it. Look at that. Look at how did I know that? From
I don't know.
You just went. Game shows.
You just went. I hope it's Funhouse, and I was like, that rings a bell. It very well might be. But yeah. Anyways, black beers. Black beers.
Yeah. Back to the actual subject. Black beers.
We're so much better at this when we have guests on because there's pressure to be like, stay on track. Well, it's just us with garbage.
Other black beers that are available before we get drinking. I've got a Utopian black lager. Love a bit of Utopian. And I've got another black lager from Braybrook. Ta-da! Which
I also have a black lager from Braybrook called
one.
Bow.
One. I've got that as well.
I love the label on it if you're watching the video. And yeah, I saw Bow and I was like, I really want, like, it made me think Bow buns. And I was like, yeah, I want that. And it also says on the back, pairs well with karaoke, rainy nights, and grilled food. So I kind of feel like I've got a whack.
I feel like you need to drink that today.
I think I'm gonna have to drink it today, if I'm honest. But yeah, I think it's a collaboration with Bow London. So that was exciting. I've got that one. And then I've got quite a few actually. I didn't put all of them out because it's very Siren and Elusive heavy because if you know Andy at Elusive, like he loves a black IPA. He's all about the Bipper comeback. So I'm all
about the Bipper comeback.
I am as well. I'm here for it. So I've got one of Elusive's, which is Drift, which is the Nectaron black IPA. And then I've got the Siren and Elusive Zombies Ate My Neighbors collab. If you're a old school video game nerd, you'll get this label. If you're looking at the video, you'll get the name of it. It will be something that you should get. I've got it's not a black IPA, it's a noir IPA called Don Steeler from Staggeringly Good. Fancy. It is a black IPA, but I like the fact that it said noir IPA and the label's very like noir crime.
Noir. Yeah, the dinosaur looks like a PI.
Yes, exactly. I've got a St. Andrews Brewing Co. Notorious Bipper, which is one that a friend Alan sent me because he got some. That was brilliant. I'm excited to try that one. And then one that a mate Ross sent for, I think it was my birthday last year, and I haven't had it yet, is an Imperial Coconut Black Tipper from Vocation. Ooh, so I think a lot of people know what this one is because they've had that one. But yeah, those are the other ones I've got. And some of the other ones I got, I should say. And with that, I'm thirsty now. Can I crack one?
Yeah, should we open up the Iron Pier one and then I'll do a little rundown of what I found out?
Yes.
Okay, let's open this bad boy.
It's one of those days. It's a lazy, rainy Sunday.
Yeah, just drinking good beer.
Yeah.
Chatting about Funhouse.
It's what you do.
It's got a big head on it.
I was going to say,
Lovely.
I always get accused of like, oh, you've not poured it correctly. I'm like, I know how to pour a beer. My husband and our mates like to take the piss of like, oh, you didn't pour it properly. I was like, I did. But for some reason, like Elusives, I feel like with theirs, I always get a massive head. And I was like, it's not me. And I'm so glad that you got the same because I was starting to think I was losing the will.
Big head. It's beige. It's very red. It's a lovely red colour.
Oh, it is.
It smells nice. It's got a lovely roastiness.
Yes. I'm getting a bit of like is it herbiness that I'm Yeah.
Spiciness. That'll be coming from the rye.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
I didn't wait, I've gone in.
Oh, how rude are you? I'm going in now.
It's nice.
I'm looking out the window, I'm seeing the rain, and this is making me that first sip is making me feel like this is the right choice to be drinking. It does have the spiciness in the taste as well. I like it, and the roastiness.
Yeah. I'm not getting a lot of hop, but that could be because it's old.
I definitely am getting hop.
Yeah.
I'm getting hoppiness. But yeah, it's the initial is spicy roasty and then hops.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, you're like, if you could delay it as long as possible, that would be great.
Fine with that. Shall I tell you a little bit about what I found out about our black beer styles?
Go on then.
So generally, when you say black or dark beer to people in the UK, you're going to automatically assume we're talking about stouts, porters, maybe miles. But there are lots of beers in various different beer brackets, should we call them, that can be labelled dark or black due to colour and flavour profiles. So to think about these beers, you've got to think about where beer gets its colour from. So the colour in beer comes from the malts. More darkly roasted malt is going to give you more dark colours, and these kind of styles of beer are going to range from like a coppery colour to almost completely black. The malts that are used for that will impart particular flavours and aromas. We're going to be looking for things like chocolate, coffee, roastiness, nuttiness, maybe some caramel or toffee, and sometimes some burnt bitterness. The grain bill, so for those that aren't up on the mechanics of brewing beer, you take various different malts. A brewer will pick which ones they want, and that's called the grain bill. The grain bill of a darker beer is generally more complex than that of a pale beer. To get the different flavours and aromas that the brewer is trying to create, they'll put a little bit of this in, a little bit of that in, because the different darker malts, so often these are called specialty malts because they're more highly roasted, so they're going to have less fermentable sugar in them. Your grain bill will have a majority of pale malts, but then you can put in various different amounts of darker malts to add those nutty, caramel, chocolate, roasty flavours, depending on what you want to achieve. So some styles that can come under this umbrella. The black IPA, ta-da, we have this here, can also be called the Cascadian Dark Ale. I'm going to come back to that in a second. There is also dark German beers, so thinking about Dunkelweizen, Dunkellager, or Schwarzbier. When you're having a Schwarzbier, that can be brown bread, caramel, chocolate, and then you've got Box and Doppelbox. And then our black lagers are generally a style from that are Czech, and with those you're looking for sweet caramel, mild bitter notes, but with a clean finish because it's still a lager. So that's the really fun bit, because you get all those lovely dark flavors, but then you get the clean finish from a lager. We've also got some dark sours. It could refer to having dark fruits in it, and I've also heard of dark saisons.
Oh,
I've not tried one, but I do have a dark saison recipe in development. I've just not had a chance to.
I was just going to say what's the likelihood we could get you to brew that?
Yeah, it's in the my recipe is in development. I've actually got most of the ingredients. I just haven't got around to brewing it yet. So watch this space. Might have a dark saison coming our way.
Ready for that?
Yeah. So to come back to black IPAs and Cascadian Dark Ale. Have you heard it called that before?
I have heard Cascadian Dark Ale, but I never realised that was more or less the same thing. I just thought it was its own thing. And no. I don't think I ever really... I think I've probably had like one, but I couldn't tell you what it was. And I don't think I ever like sort of registered this is very similar. So when you said that, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Because it makes sense. It's just I just didn't realise it was the same. So
right, so Cascadian Dark Ales are also the same as black IPAs. They can also be called India Black Ales, so an IBA.
Oh.
So you got a BIPA, you got a CDA, or an IBA. So if you see those, they're basically all the same thing. So the Cascadian Dark Ale gets its name from Cascadia, which is...
Cascadia. Where is Cascadia?
Cascadia is in the Pacific Northwest of America. And it spans from the northmost part of Southeast Alaska down to Cape Mendocino in California. Now, Cascadia is a bioregion. And a bioregion is characterized by the natural environment rather than man-made borders. So it's called Cascadia because it's got lots of waterfalls.
You know what? Like saying that, I feel like I think there's not a theme park, a wildlife park in Alaska called the Cascadian National Park or so. Maybe it's in Canada. Maybe it's in Canada. But I think that there's like a Cascadia National Park or something. So it always sounded like quite familiar, but I don't.
Yeah, so it's got like it's got all of that area. So that little bit, that side of Canada and Oregon, California, Seattle, all of that bit
Cascadia.
Is that bit. Cascadia. And I have had a Cascadian dark ale. It was my first ever black IPA foray into that type of style, and it was called Hop in the Dark, and it was by Deschutes. And you're gonna love this because it was in Alaska.
Well,
I always have my weird bits.
When you first said like, oh, Cascadia goes from Alaska, I was like,
here she goes.
I roll already. Here we are.
I can't help it. That's where it is, and that was actually my 200th unique beer.
I'm gonna put this out here, right? If people already have a drinking game about how much like I mentioned Siren, it's going to be like
how often I say Alaska.
How often you say Alaska?
Yeah, definitely.
It's only fair on.
Yeah, I think so. But my most favourite black IPA is not from Alaska. You'll be pleased to hear.
You said Alaska drink.
The best one I've ever had is from Bronx Brewery. In New York, and it was called On the Black, and it was like I'd be interested to try it again today and see if it's as good as I remember it when I first had it. It's one of those beers that like you had it and you were like, this has just blown my mind. Like, what is this? And it's got a really great memory attached to it, which I think is one of the most amazing things about beer, because you get these memories and you're just like, oh, I had this amazing thing happened, or this great day, and then I had this beer and it was amazing. And it was one of those moments. I think that's the
problem as well, is when you go back to visit and you go, let's revisit or have a rebrew. I mean, first of all, when it's a rebrew, like you don't know if there's been recipe tweaks or if it's just like
I don't even know if they make it anymore.
I've made the same pizza dough recipe a few times now, and every single time it always seems to come out a bit different. And I'm putting the same ingredients into it, the same measurements. Don't know what I'm doing there, but I imagine that even like when you're brewing and stuff, it must be really hard to get everything exactly
like unless you've got like mechanical processes where it's machines doing it and they're doing it exactly the temperature, exactly the time, exact, to the miller.
There's got to be there'll be little anyways, but I don't think that if I had this Iron Peer Elusive Bripper a year ago and then I have it again in a year's time, would I even remember? Like, would I be able to say this tastes exactly the same? And that's the thing, is like you might have this like really fond memory of it and you might try it again and it might taste the exact same, or it might taste completely different and you might just go, oh, I don't like it as much because maybe the day that you're having it's not the same day.
Because it was just a really good day. Like, we were in New York and I was on this is one of my random stories again. Settling, everybody, make sure you got a drink ready. So working on a cruise ship, they bought out the cruise ship was docked in New York for a whole week over the Super Bowl. It had been bought out by Budweiser and they turned it into the Budweiser Hotel. They covered up all of our ship branding. Everyone had to have a new uniform that was working forward facing. Like, everything was Bud set up, like the whole thing. Luckily, I didn't have to work that week because they didn't want any of our shows. They only wanted, because I was a wardrobe supervisor on cruise ships, in case you haven't heard that. They didn't want any of our shows. They wanted one of the ballroom shows, but we were docked next to the aircraft carrier that is docked and is a museum in New York, and they were putting on, they had like bands on there, so like Imagine Dragons played, Foo Fighters played, so all the people that were staying at the hotel got to go to those, so they didn't need shows on the ship.
Did you get to go to those?
No. No, you had to be a paying customer for that. You could watch them on the TV though. They did like play it on the TV on the ship so you could see him, but
I would have been like, there, was it? Look, I want to see Dave Grohl. This is the least you can do.
Do you know
for
what?
Me.
I got the whole week off, so I'll take that as a win instead. But it meant that we could, and working on cruise ships, you're sailing at night. You don't get to go out at night. So being in New York at night time, amazing. So we had this day, and we were like, right. We'd booked for later in the week. We were going to go see our first Broadway show. We were going to go see Kinky Boots. We had that all booked in. And we had a day off, so we were like, right, we're going to go get some food. We went to Justin Timberlake's Southern Comfort restaurant, had some barbecue. Yeah, this is one of my properly random stories, right? Went there. We then went to the Pony Bar, which is a great craft beer bar in New York. Brilliant. We had loads of beers. Sat in there, like, we're trying all these different beers. I think I had one of my first saisons there, like, amazing. And we sat there, and me and my friend went, what are we gonna do tonight? Should we see if we can get some show tickets? So there we are, having a look, seeing what's available. Got tickets to see Matilda. Cool. Went and saw Matilda. Like, I think we grabbed some dinner. Went and saw Matilda. Matilda was amazing. We're coming back. It's like 11 o'clock at night, and we're walking back to the ship, and we come across this like little hidden craft beer bar on this road that we're walking down, and we were like, should we have one more drink before we go back to the ship? Yeah, let's have one more. 4 o'clock in the morning is when we then started heading back to the ship, because the menu was so amazing. And we bought some of this on the black by Bronx Brewery, because they were like, oh, it's hoppy and dark. We were like, what? That's mad. Drank it. On the nose, it was just like pine and tropical fruits and amazingness. And then you drank it, and it was that mixed with a beautiful roasty coffee. And it's just like, it's one of those beers that bends your mind, because you're like, I'm looking at it, it looks like it should be a stout or a porter, but the smell I'm getting is an IPA, and then you mix the two together, and it was just beautiful.
I think it's especially like when you've got like, so if you're looking at some beers labeled as a Cascadian dark ale, I think it comes across like, what you get in a glass visually, like, it's not as jarring.
It tricks your mind.
It's not as I don't think that's as jarring of when you get a glass that looks like, mine's mostly gone now. Then when you're like, oh, I'll get an IPA, that IPA is probably great, and then they give you this really like dark porter looking beer, and you're like, hang on a minute, like that's not what I was expecting. Like, if you're newer to it and you didn't really realize what you were getting, and the taste, it's so funny, because it's like you could close your eyes, try it, and the last thing you're going to do, especially with this one, with the Bripper, close your eyes, you taste this, are you going to guess that that's an IPA? Probably not. I mean, there's hoppiness there, but I think maybe it's more of like an American style stout, because American stouts are more hoppy. So that's probably what would come into my mind, even with the hoppiness added to this. But yeah, I mean, I think beyond the fact that that's tied to such a good memory as well, I mean, how many black IPAs had you tried at that point? Was that
probably not very many? Probably not very many. I mean, I'd had the Cascadian Dark Ale before then, but whether I really, because I read it as Cascadian Dark Ale, I may not have put it back together as a black IPA. But yeah, and it was so good that we went back the next day and took more people with us, and was like, you have to
see this, try this,
5 pints of this, it's so good. You're welcome, Bronx Brewery.
I think it's that thing of like, the more exposure you have to the style as well, the more that, like, that's going to be one of the first ones that you had that's always that made you want to try more.
I tried to rebrew it,
what's stuck in your head.
Yeah, I tried to rebrew it, because it specifically uses El Dorado and Citra, I think, and I was like, oh, because El Dorado is an interesting one, because it's very tropical. So I've got some El Dorado. I tried it. I didn't quite get it right. I mean, I'm good at black IPA. You've had my black IPA.
Did I have it?
I think I've sent you one.
I don't think I tried it yet. No, I've not drunk it yet.
Well, you've got one. That's my attempt at making it.
I've been savouring all the ones that you gave me, that you sent me home with. I was like, I can't just have these whenever. Like, they have to be an experience. And then when I realized, I do remember you were like, I've put a black IPA in there, and I was like, what? Like, I was like, we should have had that. I could have taken that out of the fridge. I think I've
still got one as well.
No, I don't think that.
No.
No. Oh, gutted. We should have planned that better. I forgot all about that because I've been waiting.
I thought you drunk it, you see.
Special moment. No, because I didn't want to just take it out and then be like, I'm just going to have this now after a few beers.
Stick it in the fridge and have it later.
Appreciate it. Yeah, today's going to be Black IPA day. I'm going to have to put the barrel in the fridge. I'm going to have to put yours in the fridge. But yeah, that's exciting. But yeah, before we move on from this one, I just want to call out as well what I said at the beginning. On the back of this can, it says hashtag Bipper comeback as well. That is definitely like an
hashtag's going. When I put this up on socials, that's going in the hashtag.
Bipper comeback. And I've got I just want to say I'm very on point today. I've got my glasses matched.
You are very good today. I've only got the t-shirt for wild weather.
Got my elusive glass, which they now sell. So
do you know what? This has got mosaic in it, and I didn't smell broccoli.
True. Ooh. Yeah, I didn't actually process that.
No.
But I think it's probably because it's overpowered by the roastiness and spiciness.
I think so. Yeah.
So there's no room for vegetable.
I think the
it's rye. The rye. The rye is so I
love a bit of rye. I've got a couple of red rye beers in my fridge that I'm saving to have together because I love rye.
I think
it's going to be a Sunday live on that soon. Watch this space.
But the bitterness that was in that as well, it was like there was a nice bit of bitterness, but it was just enough that it was
balancing.
Yeah, just a balancing bit of bitterness.
Yeah, that was lovely.
But yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad. I was excited for that one and it delivered. Thank you, Iron Peer and Elusive.
Honestly, if you like black IPAs, like constantly look for and just keep checking out Elusive because Aaron does love putting them out and he makes some amazing black IPAs and he is just like a stand-up guy in general. So just you couldn't support a nicer person. And now you can get their glasses, which are great. So I just showed it on the screen a minute ago if you're watching the video. So go put in an order for all the black IPAs that he has. I don't know if he's got any on the website right now, but his birthday's cut. It's the 5th birthday, I think it is 5th birthday for Elusive. So if they don't brew a black IPA, I will be shocked. And I think if they do it, which they probably will, you're gonna have to go and get one. So check it out. Watch that space. So
there you go.
Now, should we move on to the wild weather?
Wild weather. I'm excited.
I'm excited to see your reaction to this.
This is a
really enjoyed it.
So this is a dark lager. In a dark lager, we're looking for sweet caramel, mild bitter notes, but a clean finish.
And I want to say, shout out to my mate Adam, who we were trying to order this. We were both at the brewery at the same time. We tried to buy these cans. We were both trying to get some, and it was really difficult to get them because the way that they had it set up at the time was you could only get them if you got it as part of a mixed pack.
Oh.
And I was like, I need to have this. And he was like, me too. So he's an absolute hero. And he's like, I'll do the mixed pack. And he let me throw in 3. I got you one. I got 2 for me. And I had a bit of it from tap at the location, and I was like, oh my god, it's so good. I needed you to have some because I thought you'd appreciate it. And my glass is clean. I'm so excited. Hey. So yeah, nice beige head, nice foamy beige head.
It's almost black. It's very, 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 very dark brown.
Yeah, there's no real
there's no real
highlight. No. It has that Diet Coke-ish kind of look to it in the sense of it has that like brown, a slightly brownish colour to it, but it's just really dark. So
it's got an interesting aroma.
Getting almost a bit like sweet, like almost a bit of sweetness in the aroma and a bit of, almost like a florally bit in the aroma. I don't know why.
I'm getting
not as roasty.
I'm not getting coconut, but my brain keeps going, that's got coconut in it. It's not coconut, so I don't know what it is. I wonder if it's biscuit.
Like
a biscuity.
Yep.
Thing, definitely, like a little bit. But that's giving me caramel. It
is more caramel. It's more caramel
biscuity. It's nice though.
Yeah, it smells sweet. It smells nice.
Right,
it doesn't have that heavy roastiness in the smell that like some of the other ones have. And the lacing on the glass is great. Nice. Tell me it's not beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it's got such a lovely clean finish as well. Considering there's
there's like a nutty and a chocolatey bit
nutty, so good. Chocolatey, caramelly, toffee, biscuity.
It makes me so happy.
But then it's a clean finish. Like those flavors, because they're quite sugary. They're not. It ends up really clean.
I want to drink it, but then I'm also like really sad because it's the last one I have.
It smells. It's not quite malted milk.
It is like when you get a digestive,
coffee biscuit.
And I think it's almost like a digestive where you have like the chocolate, the milk chocolate sort of layer on it, and then there's like the biscuity.
I'm getting a bit of. Oh, do you know what? It smells like my coffee shortbread.
Oh,
yeah. It smells like my coffee shortbread baking.
You could send me some of that,
girl. I will do it. My
I thought you were going to say it's a pain in the balls, but no, you were like, I will do it. I was like,
it is
easy.
It's like I make it every Christmas. I make pumpkin spice as well.
Obviously, you're going to send that.
This is why we're friends, because we like all of this.
Yes. Honestly, JD.
Yeah,
all
this
I
is
could
good.
do is clap for you. Like, please
this
make more of it. Oh,
and it doesn't taste 8.6%, 6.8% even.
No, and like I said a minute ago, like I really want to drink it, but I really don't want to drink it because it's my last one and they don't have any more available.
6.8, it's not going to age well.
I want more.
That's lovely.
Just want more of it. Yeah, and I like the Black Books reference, so.
Oh, I've not watched that, but I that's the name of the character, isn't it?
I like the way that you're like, oh.
I've not watched that, so I didn't know.
It's all right, because when we were trying to line up which ones we were drinking, for some reason I had the Barnard Castle stuck in my head, and I think I was like Barnard.
That's not a black beer.
No, it's not that one. It's not that one. It's just because it was in
Barnard.
Since you said
Barnard,
my fridge, yeah.
Not now, Bernard.
Bernard.
Not now, Bernard. That's a book.
Okay,
that's a kid's book.
Don't know that one.
Oh, you've never read Not Now, Bernard?
No.
He gets like taken away by monsters because he keeps being like, "Mum, there's monsters in my room," and they're like, "Not now, Bernard," and Bernard gets taken away by the monsters.
Is it trying to teach you like, don't be a boy that cries wolf?
Yeah.
Only tell your parents there's monsters if there's monsters, or else they're gonna ignore you.
Yeah.
Or it's a lesson of like, don't be horrible, or the monsters will take you away.
Right. It's one of those. It's one of those.
Brilliant. Oh, I don't want to move on from this.
I want to take a picture of it though, so I can't drink all of it. Beer nerd. Here we go.
It is amazing, but like I've had black lagers before.
Yeah.
And this is hands down, like if you said, what is your favorite black lager? It is my favorite black lager. And I don't know if it's like the imperial element of it. Maybe it's like, it's just amped up more than a normal lager.
Like, so I really enjoyed, I've had this one already. But I really enjoyed the black lager, the regular black lager, not the Bale black lager from Brew, because I've yet to have.
I had that one as well, because we did that on a different episode, didn't we? And we did it on our
we did it on our triannuary one. I think.
Triannuary. It was.
And it was really lovely, but it was very different from this.
It was more lagery.
Yeah, and clean and crisp, but there's a little bit of that roastiness in it.
Very Moorish.
Yeah.
In the way that a lager.
Whereas this has got more coffee in it, which
to me is more stout. Like this is, if you put this in front of me, I am not even gonna guess lager in the slightest. Like I'm gonna say stout, and I'm gonna say because it's not as
it's got really full. It's got a fuller body than a lager.
It's a fuller body, but because it's not really thick in mouthfeel, it's got a full taste, but the mouthfeel is it isn't as full as what you'd expect for like a stout of a 6.8%, if you know what I mean. It's not syrupy, it's not anything like that. I'd be like, it's so easy to drink, there's no booziness to it. I'd be like, oh, it's got to be a lower ABV stout. And it's just not. I think it's amazing.
If you were doing blind tastings,
I'd be super wrong on this one.
A Bipper and this black lager would properly throw you off.
Yeah.
Put that in a solo cup and tell me what it is.
Don't put it in a solo cup. People are going to at you, Joanne.
No, because then it's you can't see the colour, and it's plastic. That's the only reason why. Not because you're going to cover your eyes. Not for drinking it nicely. If you're nice and trying it, then obviously use a proper glass. But if you're doing doing a blind tasting, just what is this beer? You need a solid coloured cup. There you go.
I am just the nutty aftertaste you get from it as well. It's so perfect. I'm moving it because you're right. There won't be enough.
I keep drinking it
for a photo after. Well done. Please make it again.
Good job. Wild Weather do good beers.
I
need to come visit so I can come see them.
Yeah, you do. I mean, that one, if they don't remake that, if they don't rebrew it, I will literally riot in the streets because it's amazing.
Just you outside the weather station.
Just me. Just me on my own.
Just running around.
Where is it?
Make more burning black. And they'll just be like, it's just Tori, just ignore
her. She's here every week. She's always carrying some type of like sign about it. Just ignore
protesting.
I don't even think people would be like put off by me doing it because they would just be like, oh, there's the, there's the local nutter. It's fine.
Are you the local nutter around your way?
Probably, but I'm sure there's probably more nutty people closer to the weather station. But maybe I'm the nutter that's moved to go that distance. I don't know. I'm the foreign nutter. I don't know.
Right. Oh, maybe.
Anyways.
Next one.
This is the one I'm most interested about, I think, which is the black sour.
Yeah, so it's going to have oak in it as well. Black fruit oak. Let's go. Ooh.
I like this, as sagas are told of such beasts.
The smell on this. Get that open.
Ooh. Yeah. It's very like dark fruits, isn't it?
Yeah. It's thick on the pour compared to the others as well.
The colour is not what I anticipated. I was expecting it to have... Oh, that's dirty. I can't...
So small. Yeah, mine's dirty as well.
Because it's a techie.
Oh, it's these... No, it's these... The Craft Masters, I have real trouble cleaning them. I don't like them. Sorry, I don't like a Craft Master.
So, the head on mine, it is that like beige, but it almost has a bit...
It's a bit tan.
It's like... So, it's tan, but it almost has a bit of like... I don't know, I want to say like a reddish type tint to it. It's not just a flat tan on mine. That's like a bit more, just a bit more in general. Highlight wise, it's difficult to make out because I didn't pour too much in there, but it's dark.
It's basically black.
Potentially a slight red along the edge of it. It smells like dark
fruits and
like 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woody.
Then you're getting a bit of vanilla-ness. That's not a word, from the oak.
It's like if you made a dark fruit compote.
Yeah.
That's what I think it, or coulis.
With some
dark fruit coulis.
With some vanilla bean in there. Oh, it smells going to be divine.
So I thought it was going to be like a deep dark red color based on the smell alone from the can. So it's interesting that it still has that same color, dark color that you have with the IPA and the lager. Oh. This one, at least I feel like if I did a blind test of it, I would guess sour.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely on that sour more, it's not acidic, but it's on that sour acid side rather than the tart side. I'm definitely getting red berries.
See, I'm getting the tartness of it more than any, there's no real acidity. Like, I don't feel this would give me heartburn or anything else like that, but I'm getting a tartness, but it's not like an involuntary pucker level of sour. It's a nice, for me, I think it's just a nice, comfortable tart.
It's not puckering.
No.
It's a very little touch of balsamic.
So I don't think I'd be able to pick that up.
I think that's what the fruit's giving me. And I've got red fruit, and then I'm getting the oak. I'm getting a bit of vanilla from the oak. And
I'm trying to like take it in. It's difficult to explain. I'm not getting roastiness in mine. Mine is just 100%. Mine's 100% fruits, tart fruits. And then I think
it's
for me,
more balsamic.
I can't do that technique that you
Can't do it.
Last time
when
I
you
tried
do
that, it just failed.
So for those that haven't seen that one, you hold the beer in your mouth, get it all around your mouth, hold your nose, swallow it, and then breathe hard out your nose, and that opens up because it pulls it into your retronasal reflex. And
but if you can do it, don't feel bad.
No, because it's difficult. I've been practicing.
If you're like me and you struggle,
there may be some spitting out of beer.
But for me, it was more, I couldn't time it. It was like I swallowed, and then I was like, and it just wasn't right.
When I did that, I got more of the acidity in my mouth and more. I don't want to say vinegar because it's not vinegary, but you're getting that acidity.
I think I just did it.
Yeah.
I think I just did it. It's more acidic that way. But before that,
but not in an unpleasant way.
No, but I think I come to expect that from a sour. And I think if you are a person that really can't handle acidity, you get heartburn, you get indigestion, all that, you tend to avoid sours as a whole anyways. Yeah. But prior to me just doing that, and I think I actually did it successfully that time.
Because
I didn't feel so pressurized to do it on the spot.
So I was looking at you doing it.
Yeah, it's because you were like, this is how you do it. And I was trying and I couldn't do it. But it did. So the acidity landed more. But prior to that, I was almost getting a bit more nuttiness that was like lingering around after I'd finished drinking it. So I think it's like over time, after a good few sips, it does in the back of your the back of my mouth, I was getting like a bit of a nuttiness to it that was just kind of hanging around.
Yeah.
Once everything started to fade, there was like a nuttiness that was sticking around.
Like a woody nut as opposed to a sweet nut.
Yes. Yeah.
I get that. God, we're getting right in there today. Blimey.
It's rainy. What else are we going to do?
Right.
I put my hot tub on to go have a soak, and then I was like, it's too rainy. I don't really want to go out.
It's bright sunshine my end now again.
Nah, it's still crap here. So it's definitely
British weather.
Still time for me to drink.
I will still sit and drink black IPAs.
It's the perfect day for podcasting. I was supposed to play Dungeons and Dragons today. That got cancelled. So it's very much like I've just outed myself. I play Dungeons and Dragons, whatever. But instead, podcasting, it's like, what else am I going to do if I'm not Dungeons and Dragons in?
Oh, I'll go cook a roast.
I'm having a barbecue.
Nice. In the rain?
Well, it's covered. It's fine.
Oh, you've got a covered barbecue.
Yeah. I'm American. I'm American, married to a Brit who likes barbecue. We live in England. We're going to barbecue in the rain.
Have you got a gas barbecue?
Yeah.
Oh, I need to ask you tips about getting a gas barbecue.
I've got a smoker as well. This is so off topic, but I've got a smoker as well. But I'm the worst human being to ask about that because I am shit at it. I have tried and failed 3 times.
Oh.
But I think it's because the charcoal I had was but I thought in my infinite wisdom, because we were told during lockdown, you don't really want to have too much smoke happening and everything else. It's like, I'll get this smokeless charcoal and the smoke's going to generate from the wood,
right?
Like resting on top of it. But it was a pain in the bum to get actually going, to get that charcoal going, to get the wood to go. And it was just so difficult. And there was about 2 or 3 failed attempts where I had my ribs all marinated. I was super ready to go. I had to pivot and I had to stick it in the oven and then finish it off on the grill. And it actually came out really good.
Oh, that's good.
But I'm still really wanting to try the smoker. But no, we mainly barbecue on the gas. It's all under shelter.
See, I've only ever had a charcoal barbecue, but we're thinking about getting a gas one.
We used to have a charcoal. We ended up free cycling a gas one at one point. Somebody was giving it away for free locally. We grabbed it. I'm used to gas from being in the US. We don't really do much charcoal. Well, at least where I'm from, you don't really get as much because we don't do the smoke and barbecue in the South. And once we had that, as much as it does impact the taste slightly, it's so much easier to barbecue on a weeknight.
Because I'd love to just go out there and be like,
you could be like, turn it on,
grilling up some chicken.
It's ready in 10 minutes.
For dinner. Right. Yeah.
Whereas the charcoal, it's a mission.
45 minutes, waiting for my charcoal to warm up before I do anything.
No.
And I seem to have a bag at the minute that just won't light. And it drives me mad. And I'll be sat there for ages because I cook inside and outside. None of this, the man of the house does it. I'm the man of the house.
Oh, Gordon.
Doesn't do it. He just makes it more awkward by going, I want new potatoes. So there I have to barbecue outside and do new potatoes on the hob.
Well,
I love my husband.
we take turns. It's just whoever can be bothered to go to the grill. But yeah, it's whoever's turn it is for dinner. But yeah, highly recommend it. Barbecue beers, new episode. We digress. But yeah, we digress as usual. But this is one that I almost feel was a bit more vinous.
Yes.
We were talking earlier. So we were talking earlier about, I was saying we should do an episode that is sort of similar to if you like wine. You did your recommendation on Valentine's Day it was Valentine's Day, and then you did April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
Because you pretended you were switching your hilarious April Fool's joke. You were switching away from beer and going to wine. And then, but then you also did offer recommendations of people that if you liked wine, you would probably like this beer overall. And I was saying it would be quite good to do an episode that's like, if you like this, here's what you'll also like. And actually, perfectly timed, because I said that earlier today. This is one that I think that if you did like wine, like a red wine,
if you liked a red wine, I think you'd like sweet, this.
Like the deep red wine that has the bit of the sweetness, less of the smokiness, even though there is obviously there's the wood element to it. But like you said,
but you get the oak,
more the vanilla,
you get oak tannins in wine as well. Yeah. So,
but this is one that is definitely more vinous.
Yeah, that's delicious. These have all been really good. I love dark beers.
I'm just like, I want to go back to the wild weather. No offense to any of these other beers, but that one
I just want to sit here and drink all of these.
They're all great. They're all great. But
I've got to cook a roast in a minute, and I've got all of these.
Oh, who am I going to chat to while I drink these if you're cooking a roast, Joanne? Horrible. Think about me and my needs.
And I can chat and do a roast at the same time.
This is brilliant. They've all been really brilliant.
These are really good.
Which ones do you think? Or like rank of your favorites? These ones are really different.
It's
difficult because all three I've really enjoyed.
I like all of them for different reasons.
But you had to, like, someone is there with a bow and arrow to you and is
love
like,
that it's a bow and arrow. Yes.
It's a bit less aggressive.
I think I'd have to go wild weather. I'm pure elusive, fierce.
Yeah, I actually this might be the first time that we completely
agreed.
Yeah, I would agree with that completely. But it was really difficult.
And it's like hair's breadth between wild weather and I'm pure elusive.
Yeah, but I think it is really difficult because they're all really, really good. But I think the everything about the wild weather for me is what made it my favorite. With the elusive Iron Pear one, it was the fact that it was a hoppier beer compared to the fierce one, where I'm not a massive red wine. I've grown to like red wine, but I'm very specific with the red wine I like, and this lands in a very red wine type way for me. So I would have this when I'm in a certain mood, but I don't think I would go, I'm in the mood for this as much as I would the elusive one.
Yeah, absolutely.
For me, it comes down to how often am I going to be in the mood to drink it? The wild weather, I'll drink anytime, any day. Give it to me. I'll have multiples of it.
Yeah.
Only one that I'd buy as many as I could of it, I think.
And I think all very good. I think sometimes vinous is a difficult word to describe to people. And like, what is that? Buy one of these from Fierce and drink it. That is what vinous is.
Yeah, try it for yourself.
Yeah,
that's separate. We should have saved this one. If I had known it was going to be like that, we would have saved it for an episode on. Yeah,
we didn't know.
We know.
We'll find
now
another.
Future.
Yeah, we can find another one.
But yeah, I guess that's any other final thoughts. So was that's simply.
I am going to just go and drink loads of black beer styles now.
I think today is going to be the black beer styles for sure.
I had a lager day yesterday. I'm gonna have a black beer styles day today.
I feel like we could remake the Chumpa Wumpa song. Jo has a lager day. She has a black IPA day.
I don't think that would work. It's not going to work in the timings.
I can make it work.
Interesting where your brain went there.
For anyone that wants to know, this is an insight into like I feel like most people will be like, I'm going to bed now, power off, boop, 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 and they go to sleep. I'm going to go to bed now. And then, do you know there's like TikTok songs that are very like specifically TikTok?
Yeah.
That's what my brain does. It's like, why don't you do this very specific? Like, so that's where my brain goes. That was an insight into how my brain works, is Chumpawampa. we can make it work for you.
You're just outing me for drinking too much beer, and that's rude.
She has a lager day. She has a stout day.
I shared them with my husband, and yesterday was the anniversary of the day that we met. So we shared some beers.
That's why we weren't recording, because we thought we'd give you a day recorded.
We had homemade pizza. He got annoyed because I used half of one of the beers in the pizza and then drank the other half myself. How dare I?
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, my final thought would be, JD, please rebrew this black lager.
Black is nice.
I will maybe cry. I don't know. I'm not a crier, but this would bring me to tears.
It's going to be outside the weather station with some cards.
Do you want me to rock up to your brewery and protest? Because I will do it. You don't want that kind of. You need to make that kind of trouble. Make a TikTok out of that. That'd be great. Protesting? Yeah, you protesting. Yeah, I'll do that. That's it. You have to rebrew it, or a storm's coming. Yeah, that's my final thoughts. So
there we go.
Where can people find you, Joanne?
If you would like to speak to me, my personal account is A Woman's Brew. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I say we, it's just me.
I mean, we are both on
the royal
Instagram.
We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also find my beer school, Love Beer Learning, where we delve into words such as vinous and what does that mean in my Build Your Beer vocabulary course. You can find Love Beer Learning on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Pinterest. And I also have a website, which is lovebeerlearning.co.uk, or you can email us, lovebeerlearning@gmail.com. We would love to hear what other subjects you would like us to cover in this podcast. We love doing a listener-driven episode. We've had a request, actually, for an episode on porters and milds. I'd be down for a milds episode.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think we need to do that. So thank you for that suggestion. We will be looking into that shortly. But if they would like to speak to you about, Funhouse and Dungeons and Dragons, where can they get
if you want? Well, yeah, you can talk to me about Dungeons and Dragons if you really want to. Yeah, outed myself on that as well. If you want to join my cause of make JD brew an Imperial Black Marker,
you can book a time to make your placards and then go and protest weather station.
We can get together and we can really get this thing going.
We protest at midnight.
Yeah, I mean that's late. I am usually asleep by then.
We protest at 8:30.
We protest at 7 because that is just about after dinner time. If you want to join me in my quest to make sure they rebrew this, you can find me on pretty much just Instagram at adventures and _in_ optimism.
Right.
So with that,
tell us the time. We'll get back to you with the timing of the protest.
I mean, yeah, details to follow, but follow that.
But until then, cheers.